Hey icons, and welcome back to another episode of the Makeup Diaries. I have so much to do today and very little time. I have to go to work in like an hour, so we gotta be quick, and then I gotta help my mom with something beforehand, so we gotta be really quick with this episode. But I feel like this is gonna be the only time this week I can film it, and I want to film it, blah blah blah, editing schedule. Oh my gosh, I'm so stressed, but I'm still being an icon and thriving. I'm gonna go and pull my recreation from a movie that I loved when I was younger, and I feel like it's very telling, and it is Uptown Girls. You know, that classic movie, Swinging Door. It's a movie that can connect to like your childhood self and your adult self, because obviously you have two characters you can relate to, and I just wanted to be Molly so badly. Now, do I want to be Molly because she has to give up all her clothes and she's honestly a little bit of a mess? No, not now. But when I was younger, oh my god, I wanted all her outfits, you know, I thought she was so pretty, all that jazz. And throughout this movie, she tends to have, this is reference photo number 1, a kind of a purple sparkly eye and like this more rougey lip. Still kind of in the coral zone, but you know, gotta love some black eyeliner all around, pretty basic face, and of course I will be dressing up because I don't have her iconic dress, but I will be recreating kind of that look that she has when we're doing the iconic spinning the cups, which I remember the only time I went to whatever it was, Disney World, Disneyland, not quite sure, I was like, Mom, I must go on the cups. I must go on the cups because of this movie. Disclaimer. I just got my blood drawn, and I am going to put a band-aid on it because it doesn't look so pretty. I got it drawn yesterday, and I look like a, you know, I look like Jared Leto from Requiem for a Dream. That is why I will be having a band-aid, because I know with the outfit it will show, and I just want to clear up any rumors. I can show y'all it, but if you guys don't like needle bruising, just skip like 5 seconds ahead. Like, that just does not look great. I have to go to work, and I don't want my work people to think that I spend my paycheck on drugs. I don't need your drugs. I'd rather get high fashion. So now we're all good. So as I do most looks, I'm going to start with my eyes, which means I'm going to bring out the most used palette of mine, the Makeup by Mario's Neutrals palette. Because when I look at this, I have them down here. When I look at this eye, it goes closer to the brow, so that means I want to do the brows as well during this. And there's kind of like just some very snowy shadow up here, and what I mean by that is kind of just like a base, kind of like a neutral white. If I'm gonna do these eyebrows additionally paired with it, I always like to gel my brows just to make sure that all the brow hairs want to play fair today. And then I'll take my spoolie. I want to have as much eyeshadow space as I possibly can. Again, I don't know why in the 2000s it was really like we only had like this much of our brow, and then this was all drawn in. So I'm just going to shape them more naturally, because my brows do taper out, not as dramatically as they were in the 2000s, but they do taper out. And I'm just going to pinch the ends like I usually do. Starting out the eyeshadow, I'm gonna go with this. And I'm taking just a fluff brush, and I'm gonna start smoking it and placing that pigment underneath my brow. And I'm just swiping this back and forth very gently, kind of making its way across the brow bone and connecting that all the way to where my crease is. When Katie and I were in Canada, we started watching House. We never finished it. We need to finish it, but we started watching House, and it's so crazy that, what was his name? Dr. Sheets of Egyptian Cotton. It's so crazy that he is in Uptown Girls. Like, I was like, he looks familiar, and then I realized, duh, it was my childhood calling. Na 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 na, sheets of Egyptian cotton. And I would make Katie watch that after we found that out. That clip almost every day. It was bookmarked on my computer. Anyways, moving on. After I have that shadow placed, I am going to go in with, it's honestly kind of warm. It's looking a little bit, there does look to be like a little bit of warm shadow here. So it's going to be more gray, but you know what? Let's just test it out. And I'm going to put a little bit of the gray, like I'm going to tap a little bit of the gray and a little bit of this kind of brown. We want something that's going to blend in with the purple, but let's try this. I think that's pretty. I think that really does a good job of what we're looking for, so I'm going to move on to this eye. Third step to our eyes, we are going to now go for the base color, and how I want to do that is, yes, so I'm going to take a more fluff brush, and I really liked that color that I used, so I'm just going to lay just kind of like a base coat pass of that mixture. I'm going in and just tapping that on my lid. You know, there's new pressure on me now, because if I mess up this, I can't go back, you know. This is how I'm showing up to work. Then I'm going in with #HumbleBrag by MAC. It's a lavender, and it's shiny and pretty. Going in with my fluff brush, and I'm just going to place that over my lid. If you want a little extra sparkle, and I understand if you do, just take a little on your hand. That's my timer saying, Annie, hurry up. Get off the eyes. I'm just gonna tap the lid with this shadow. It's only your shadow. Okay, before I clean up my eyes and move on to the face, it is eyeliner time, y'all. We're putting black eyeliner in our tight line and waterline. Let's go. Moving on to the face, I'm going on with some liquid foundation. Her look is pretty matte. Like, we have this one, and we have this one. It's not, there isn't a lot to, technically, the face itself. Like, it's not like a lot of contour, not a lot of blush, but we want to have like a good like medium coverage to this look. Blend this in with my foundation brush. I want you to put a poll in the comments, or maybe I can make a poll, but y'all tell me, what's your favorite dress of hers? I personally like her classic party dress, but just because like growing up I was like, I'm gonna be the girl that like grabs whatever's on her candle and makes a little barrette or something, and that is like the dress she's wearing with that. But I guess you have whatever like white dress she's wearing on the cover, and then you have her like peach type of dress. She has a lot of, like, whoever did the fashion, definitely in the Icon family for sure. We're gonna set our face. We're not baking anything, so just a loose set. Like powder everywhere now. And we're gonna gently swipe this all off, any extra powder. Now moving on to the blush. Her blush is very, I want to say iconic because I always say that word, but it's just like beautiful, just like, you know, full but still subtle blush. We're gonna go peach to pink for this one, and I'm gonna bring out my NARS. This one's just classic orgasm, everyone's favorite. And so I'm gonna take this and I'm going to grab out my dual-sided powder brush. This is one of my favorite brushes, y'all. You can pretend it's like a baton. I don't have time to be goofing around. You can tap it out if you feel like it's gonna be too pigmented, if you're afraid of that. And I'm just going to gather this kind of follow my cheekbone, create that line. Beautiful. Build it up. And then once I feel more confident, I'm going to look at where my nose is, kind of draw an invisible line there. It's like halfway towards your earlobe. And that's where I'm going to connect it back. Then you have like this small little triangle that we're just building up. Once I have that blush on my face, I'm going to warm it up by adding this one from my Hourglass palette. I think it's number 6, maybe? Just to give it a little bit more warmth, less pinky. And then I'm going to take the other side of my powder brush, get some setting powder, and blend out the edges. I'm going back to the brows just to, you know, refluff them. Sometimes they get a little cuckoo after we've done all of our, you know, powder. Our brushes might come in and move them elsewhere. And I'm just going to fill them in just a little bit, more in the front so they look a little more top heavy. Now we have 2 more things to do before this look is complete, and that is just doing the same, kind of smoking out our under eye. So I'm going to take the fluff brush, the small fluff brush that we used from before, and I'm going to create that same, you know, warm gray color that we used. That was so pretty. I'm just going to smoke it underneath the eye, and if we look here, it kind of droops a little low, but it's just going all the way up until probably leaving 1/4 of your inner eye kind of bare. I don't know if the camera stopped, but what I did for the eyes, all that you would have missed, was I went in and I put some sparkle in the inner corner of my eye, that 1/4 space that we left, and I went in on top with the MAC Humble Brag shadow that I used on my eye and kind of smoked it out. I'm sorry y'all that I'm a little stressy when I get behind on time, and I'm for sure behind on time. I'm going to line my lips with Spice by MAC. Then we bring out all the lipsticks. Once I have my lips lined, and I've filled them in with the liner as well, I'm going to go in with a little bit of MAC's Local Celeb. It's not as corally as I'd like it to be, so I'm just going to dab it on instead of, you know, swiping it on. That way it's a little bit more gentle. And I'm going to go on top of that with Pretty Boy, also by MAC. Most of my lipsticks are MAC, unless I tell you otherwise. But hers is still a little bit more nude, so I'm going to tap that out. Lightly go on top of it with a nude of your choice. And so I'm going to do a mascara, very simple. But that has completed this look. Thank you so much for, let's cue, outro, cue the outro. I'll wait and see what unfolds. Don't have what I need, girl, now I love you so. Na 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 na, sheets of Egyptian cotton. Na 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 na, sheets of Egyptian cotton. Na 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 na, sheets of Egyptian cotton. Na 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 na, sheets of Egyptian cotton. So thank you so much for watching this week's episode of the Makeup Diaries. I hope everyone's enjoying their April and the looks from 2003. Again, as always, if you have requests on which looks you want me to recreate, just put them in the comments below or DM me. My socials are down in the description. So thank you as always for joining me on Friday, or whenever you're watching this, but just know that I truly appreciate it, and if you could give this video a thumbs up and a subscribe, my heart would be so happy. Y'all are all my icons, so thank you so much for joining the icon family and being here with me today. Yeah, now I get to go to work and help some customers. Yeah, So yeah, thank you so much, and I love you, and I will see you next Tuesday for a home video where you get to learn a little bit more about me. And next Friday, as always, for another Makeup Diaries. I love you, icons. Bye-bye.
Swinging door.